Hello and welcome back to our channel. My name is Emily and I am here at the National Equestrian Centre putting our Stages riding programme online. In the last lesson we learned all about correct position and how to sit on the horse properly, so we're ready to get moving. So this is lesson 7 in our Stage 1 series, and today we're going to be learning about aid sets and how to go, stop and turn. So there are lots of different ways that we can communicate with our horse, and the different parts of our body and equipment that we use are called aids, and the way that we use them together are called aid sets. So one of the first aids that we use are our legs, and we communicate with the horse by the amount of pressure that we apply with our legs. The second aid that we have is our seat, and we communicate with the horse with the weight placement of our seat, whether we make it lighter, heavier, or slightly more placement on one seat bone or the other. The third aid is our hands. So our hands affect the way that pressure is applied down the rein and into the bit, which is in the horse's mouth. And so that's how we can tell them what to do with our hands. So those are the three main aids that we have, so leg, seat, hands, and they are all natural aids. If the horse doesn't respond, we have two more aids that we can use. We can use our voice. The horse doesn't respond necessarily to words, but the type of tone that we use our voice in. So if we want the horse to go faster, we're going to use shorter, higher pitched noises and sounds. And if we want the horse to go slower, we're going to use longer, slower and lower tones. The last aid that we can use is an artificial aid, and that is the crop. So the crop is used as a backup to the rider's leg. I want you to think of it as like your third leg. And we're going to use that down the shoulder in time with your leg. I want you to remember everything we learned in the last lesson about correct position, about the 4 lines of the position. Because when you're using your aids, you have to try and maintain your position and the 4 lines as well. And we always use our aids in that order. So every time you're asking your horse to do something, I want you to think about those 5 aids and the order that you use them in. So it's always legs, seat, hands, voice, and crop. The horse has 3 paces: walk, trot, and canter. And when we change between those paces, it's called a transition. If we want to go from a lower pace to a higher pace, we call it an upwards transition. So now we're going to learn how to do an upwards transition. At the moment, Leroy is in halt, which means that he's stopped, he's standing still, and we're going to learn how to go from halt into walk. So the first part of our aid set to go from halt to walk is our legs. And with your lower leg, you have to squeeze gently inwards. The next part is your seat, and with your seat you want to be nice and light and supple and ready to move with the horse, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next clip. With the hands, we want to allow forward with the hands as we squeeze with the leg. Now if your leg, seat and hands don't work, then you can use your voice. So you can use a click or say walk on, and then if that doesn't work still, then you can have your backup aid, which is your crop, which you can give them a little tap down the shoulder at the same time as you use your leg. Emma preparing to ride forward to walk. I'm walking forward now. So when the horse is walking, it's a 4-beat rhythm because the horse places 1 foot down at a time. So he goes back leg and then the front leg on the same side, back leg and front leg on the same side. If we look at the colour of Leroy's bandages, we can watch his legs a little bit easier. So he goes black, pink, red, blue, black, pink, red, blue, black, pink, red, blue. Now this translates into a 4-beat rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you are in walk, I want you to really relax, but maintaining that correct position, but relax through your hips and your seat and let the horse move your seat. And I want you to try and feel and count the 4-beat rhythm, and this will help you to relax. So let's have a go. So am I preparing to ride forward to walk? Walking forward now. So really let that seat relax and move with him. And you'll find that as you're walking around, the seat and the movement of the horse will make your seat do almost a side to side kind of movement. I don't want you to force that, but just relax and let it happen and let it move. So we don't want to be tense and tight in our seat, but nice and supple and relaxed and moving with the horse. So once we've learned to go, we need to learn how to stop the horse. And when we do a transition from an upwards pace to a slower or lower pace, it's called a downwards transition. As always, the first aid that we start with is our legs. So we want to stop squeezing the horse forward, but our legs still has to support the horse. A downwards transition is still a forward transition. For example, when we're going from trot to walk, the horse is still traveling forward. With the seat, we want to, as we're preparing for the transition, start slowing the movement of the seat and sitting a little bit heavier on the seat bones. So we can do that by pushing our weight down through our seat bones evenly, and you can engage your core muscles by pulling your tummy button in towards your spine. With the hands, we want to apply pressure gently down the rein, and we do this by closing our fingers and bending our elbows. Preparing to ride forward to halt and halting now. Now with all of our aid sets, after you've applied them and the horse has given you the response that you've asked for, you have to release those aids again. So for example, when we go from walk to halt, if you're applying pressure on the reins and the horse is already stopped, you have to go back to your neutral position and release the pressure on the reins. Next, we need to learn how to turn the horse so that we can have control over which direction we're going in. When we're turning, we use the phrases inside and outside. So outside refers to the side of your body that is closest to the fence or closest to the outside of the arena, and the inside refers to the side of your body that is closest to the middle of the arena or the inside of the arena. If we want to do a turn from the outside track towards the inside of the arena, the first aid, as always, is our legs. Our outside leg tells the horse to turn off the track with a sideways pushing aid. Our inside leg controls how far that way the horse goes. And it also keeps the horse moving forward around the turn. With our seat, we want to put a little bit more pressure on the inside seat bone or the seat bone in the direction that we want to go. So a really good way to help you do this is to look in the direction that you want to turn. So if we're on the horse, I want you to imagine that the horse's ears are 12 o'clock. So I'm going to sit on the horse, and if I want to turn to the left, I'm going to look towards 11 o'clock, and I'm going to turn my hips and my shoulders slightly towards 11 o'clock. Back to 12 o'clock, and if I want to go to the right, I'm going to turn my hips and my shoulders and look at 1 o'clock. And that will help you to put the placement of the weight on the correct seat bone. So with our hands, the inside rein shows the horse where to go. So we're going to open the rein to the direction that we want to go. Remember to always have your thumbs on top. We don't want to pull back on the rein because pulling back tells the horse to stop. So we want to imagine opening a door to let the horse through. And when you're riding, you always want to make sure that your right hand stays on the right hand side of the horse's neck and your left hand stays on the left hand side of the horse's neck. We don't want to cross our hands over. So just opening the rein gently. Once the horse is turned, you want to go back to your neutral position and ride forward in a straight line. If you keep that turning aid on, you're going to end up riding around in circles. So once you're feeling confident at go, stop and turn when you're on the lunge or on the lead with your coach, you can go and have a practice by yourself at walk so that you're getting really confident in telling the horse what to do and where to go. Once you've mastered your go, stop, turn, you can start to learn how to do trot, so rising trot, and that is what we're going to cover in our next lesson, which is the last lesson in our Stage 1 series, so we'll see you next time. If you want to put into practice everything you've learned in these lessons, you can have a go with your own horse. If you don't have your own horse, that's okay because we have plenty. You can get in touch with us today, phone number or email us and find out more about our riding lessons. Or you can contact your local riding school. If you enjoyed the video, please like and comment below. You can subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any more videos in our series. We'll be putting up new videos every week. We'll see you next time.